The council has spoken after Henri sat down with them and explained some of his open and maybe even slightly nefarious plans, at least hinted at. And the council spoke and urged one to do nothing with Aragon. Let his brother die, or his uncle, better said, let his uncle die. He's in his 50s. Surely he is not long for this world anymore. And as far as his brother goes, perhaps it would be best to not pursue any darker deeds there. He is your brother after all, but he is one to keep a close eye on. Instead, turn to France and look at other weaker co-vassals and show them the light of falling underneath your lordship. Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel. And some more Crusader Kings 3 Angevin fun here. Now before we really get into it, let's take a quick look at the world. It's 1163. And as we can see here, the Holy Roman Empire has retracted from Hungary, but expanded into Poland and throughout Italy. But here's the other interesting tidbit. France. France has gobbled up Genoa. So Genoa is now a part of France, which means so is the Duchy of Piedmont, Emilia, and so on. So, I mean, Italy itself, you have Sicily, the Kingdom of Sicily down here with the Hauteville Norman family. Then you have the papacy, the Holy Roman Empire. You still have Pisa here a little bit in Venice. And France has expanded, including grabbing Corsica as well. So the French lands are growing quite rapidly. The Byzantines are in a constant state of war here. If we go to the Byzantines himself, he is currently Basileos Artemios, is dealing with a war against a claim on the empire and another internal war, so nothing external. The Seljuks have massively retracted, and we see the Muslim states here have completely, I'm not going to say fallen apart, but it's very, very decentralized. You know, if the Byzantines were looking to expand, this might not be a bad time, but they are, of course, dealing with their own internal issues. But the Seljuks, much smaller. The Oghuz-il Khanate, much smaller than it once was. Cumania is a little bit back here. Ruthenia is still very strong. Estonia has grown. Other than that, Norway continues to grow here on the Baltic coast. And England controls, well, England and most of Ireland. In the rest of the world, we've got Ghana down here, Mali formed, Nubia is huge, Abyssinia is large. Remember my little playthroughs down here? That was a fun one. And then if we go to Asia, we have Pagan over here. The Indian subcontinent is still pretty disorganized. Other than that, we don't really see much else going on over here in the Mongol steppes. But now let's head back a bit closer to home. One area that is I'm not going to say a concern for Henri, but definitely a thorn in his side. At least it hurts his eyeballs, and that is England's lands right here between Berry and Brittany. And these are the ancestral lands of the Anjou dynasty. And that is something that he most assuredly would like to get. Now, he can declare war on England. If we look there, where are we here? King Ralph the Feeble. He is in a truce. He only has 5,200 soldiers, and most of those are levies. He has very few knights, not much I mean, 50 armored horsemen, 100 longbowmen. It could be a great time to at least grab one of these counties and then rename this from Berry to Anjou. If we look at these counties here real quick, Men itself, we can see here there is a station regiment of pikemen It's in the plains. It's got a decent amount of loot there, as well as Le Mans as a holding, Courcillon as a city holding, and that's it. Sablé, on the other hand, we look at the tax revenue. The county of Maine is much, much wealthier. Sablé, Maine, and Laval as a city holding. A couple of castles in there as well. Got a castle level 4 and a level 3. And here we've got castle level 4. So there's only one castle in Maine, 2 in Sablé. Ultimately, you want to take all of this. So that is definitely a war worth looking at. Other than that, we currently are looking here in Montargis, and then Française would be another one. They are allied with one of our vassals, the Count of Sancerre. Montargis is completely isolated, and that would just be a nice way to unify our lands. We have Clermont up in the north here. They're allied with a Bourbon count, so not much to worry about there. The lands of the Duchy of Armagnac. This it's a little more difficult here, given who they are allied with. La Marche is allied with the Count Gilles of Mâcon, another one that can be easily just taken. Aquitaine has an alliance with the Duke of Piedmont and the Duchess of Aquitaine. So Aquitanian lands would, of course, be of interest. And then just, honestly, slowly but surely gobbling up as much of France as possible. Flanders up here in the north, they're still pretty strong. They are allied with our brother Richard of Poitiers and Prince Julien of France. So that's, Flanders would be a great one to take, but not really one we're going to focus on. Kicking the English out of France will definitely be one of strong interest. Let's take a look at some of the innovations here we're working on right now is land grants. Parochial vassals are more common. Casus Belli prestige cost goes down. Fabricate claim on county councilor task speed goes up by 50%. So land grants is a nice one. It'll be 20 years. There's anything else here that's close? No, everything else is taking a while. Militarily, you could go with trebuchets, which is kind of nice. Bumping up our men-at-arms regiments would also be nice. We still have anything here that's being worked on. Household soldiers will be done in 4 years, so that's kind of nice. Communal government, that's still in development. Other than that, we really have everything. So I think focusing here on land grants is a nice one. Yes, I think land grants, that is definitely the way we're going to go. Prestige, we're still not anywhere where we can reform the Angevin culture like we wanted to. Now it's going to cost us 5,000 prestige because we do not have 6 knights with 12 prowess. So we have to get more knights and more prestige. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not really something I'm overly concerned with at this time. Let me unpause the game. I have found that prestige does, after a while, simply come to you in different forms. In the meantime, let's actually take a look at investing in some of our holdings here. We've got 1,100. In our military, we can bump some of these up. Light footmen can still go up as our horsemen. So I think what we'll do here, we'll just bump that one up. And our horsemen as well. And then our siege equipment as well. So we'll just bump those all the way up to its maximum. Travel cut short. My predecessor King Geoffroy of Aragon has shed his mortal coil whilst touring the realm. Tragically, he was slain in battle. Geoffroy's entourage will surely begin a mournful journey home bearing my uncle's body. The fallen king did not deserve to die so far from home. Rest in peace, good uncle. Wow, so a huge change. We are now a mighty king, and now things are getting really, really, really interesting. The Aragonese court. As king, you have new duties and responsibilities. You will now be expected to regularly hold court, solving the disputes of the realm and letting your courtiers take part in your daily routines. Countess Esclarmonde of Chartres is looking sternly at me in a direct, almost lecturing way. Perhaps there is also some scorn in her eyes. She starts to unfold a beautiful banner bearing the emblem of House Plantagenet. One of the ways in which the world will now judge your rule is by how you adorn and care for your royal court. I have taken the liberty to have this made as a gift to mark the beginning of your royal tenure. Let them see me as their new king. Other matters call my attention. So, Countess Esclarmonde of Chartres presents a new banner of your dynasty's emblem. All right, so here we are. We have the royal court of the Kingdom of Aragon. Wow. So, court grandeur. Court type, are we a diplomatic court, a warlike court, or an intrigue court? Well, I think we all know what that means. It costs us 500, so we can't change that, but we're definitely going to switch to an intrigue court once we can. Court language. Iberian vulgar. End of the road. I am sat at my table, about to break my fast, but all hunger has left me. Something feels amiss, and I know this to be true. I see my courtier Hugh somberly approaching. My king, a messenger arrived in the night bearing grievous news. He says softly, I'm afraid your uncle, King Geoffroy, was slain in battle. He was in Barbastro on the road toward Barcelona when he perished. My sincere condolences, my lord. So, court language, Iberian vulgar. Well, you know what? Okay, so, yeah, we have an Iberian language here. So that was adopted not too long ago. And so it'll be a while. So Royal Court, Kingdom of Castile, Kingdom of Leon. So anyway, let's just go out here, and now we can see what has happened. France has lost lands. This was a general question before. What would happen? How would this split? And yes, the French lands are gone. Aragon now rivals the French. In here, my lord, my beneficiary, Laurence, gestures to the door of his weavery, where he has been toiling for months on my commission. Stepping through the doorway, I gasped as I gazed upon the work hanging in front of me. Large fustian tapestry of masterful craftsmanship. The cloth depicts a hunting scene. Several hunters, armed with bows and spears, surround a wounded animal and are about to deliver the death blow. This is lovely. Okay, we gotta hit pause because there's a lot to unpack now. We were just started the episode talking about there's not really much to do here in terms of our uncle. But what has happened now is he has passed away. And Henri of Aragon, the Angevin Catholic Plantagenet, of d'Anjou lineage, is now the King of Aragon. And with that has taken up the lands within France. It immediately has put France in a difficult position here. You can see here nothing's really changed, but has added the Kingdom of Aragon to the titles. Wow. Okay. We currently only have the one child and heir. We are well over our domain holdings, so we need to do something there. That, yeah, look at the map now. That's a lot to unpack and figure out. So we are above the domain limit, and we have empty council positions. So now, obviously, we have a entirely new council to work on. Convert faith in a county. Where is he doing that? Okay. So down here, he's converting faith. We need a new chancellor. So starting all over here, Countess Esclamond, we will assign her to do that. Queen Eleonora, she will assist in matters of chivalry. We need a new steward. Thierry, I mean, may as well have him back to do that. Promote cultural acceptance, promote culture. So where are we doing here? So currently we have, of course, Angevin, French, Norman. I mean, we have so many different cultures we are dealing with here. But I want to promote our culture, the Angevin culture, close to home. So we're going to continue doing that. Bestow royal favor. We're not going to do that. We need a new marshal. And for that, Maboop. He's been really good. He's hunchbacked. Logistician, a tough soldier. Count Jacques of Issoudun. He's irritable, but he's a military engineer. He's gallant, a hunter, and a skilled tactician. So we will assign him to be our marshal. And we will have him... Is there anything we need to do here as far as county control? Yes. Evreux. And then we need a new spy master, Gerard de Luxembourg. And with here, we will disrupt schemes. Because obviously things have now shifted for our vassals in France and our new vassals in Iberia. So, let's take a look here above the domain limit. Which lands shall we give away? So, we're 3 above, so here are 3 counties we can bestow on people. The county of Alcanis. We will give this away to an Angevin, Léon, or Ogier de Troyes. I think sending him here, he likes us. He's pretty good, actually. I mean, he's not bad. Elie, he's always been problematic. He's always been very problematic. Engeron. So if we do that, he gains 40 opinion of you for 50 years. He will have parochial vassal stance. Penalty for being above your domain limit is reduced. So we will grant that title. Then we will continue to give out lands in the Duchy of Aragon. Huesca. We will grant these lands to Elie, La Ferté. He's been a bit of a pain, so we'll grant it to him. And his opinion of us will increase. And then we still have one more to give away. I'm not going to do Zaragoza because we're working on a keep there. But here, right on the fringe, in the mountains. In the mountains, far away from home. Someone who's not our biggest fan. Adama, why not? He's okay. He's irritable. He's got claims on the duchy in our lands, so we don't really want to make him any stronger. Let's see, he's got County Issoudun, Guillaume, Diol. Yeah, he's got claims in Champagne as well. Gautier, an unlanded. Wow, look at that. Marshal of 30. Enfroy? Don't know. Let me think about this real quick. Adalbert. We'll put another Angevin man there. Unlanded. We'll put him in charge. Every courtly vassal. He's lowborn. So that doesn't really... That wouldn't be good. Léon de Perdiac. We'll give him that title. And send him on his way. So now let's take a look here. We have too many held duchies. Okay, Duchy of Berry, Champagne, Normandy, and Aragon. That's annoying. Don't know if I really want to give away a duchy. I mean, the Duchy of Aragon might be an interesting one to give to our heir and son. Make him the Duke. Prince Fulk of Aragon. Not our brother, not the Countess. Our nephew? No. So we should give the Aragonese title to somebody. We will grant that to... Well, we can always give him also the County of Zaragoza. Yeah, that I should have done that and then the county. Oh well. You know, it's so be it. We'll not worry about that too much right now. Vassals' opinions will go down. I'm not overly concerned with that. Got a disabled building in Zaragoza. We have quite a few disabled buildings here. Count Stephen of Albarcin. So those lands could go away. Okay. Got a few vassals that want positions, but they're not great. So I'm not going to worry about that. Declaring wars, we've got the HRE, England, King Philippe, and Nuno the Smelly of Castile. What do we have there? Those claims. So for Navarra, that would be a silly one. King Philippe seized the Duchy of Berry. Okay. Could seize the county. We lost that. So our claims for all of this. So we could go to war with France to basically get a lot of this back. So yeah, Berry could be another one. So we've got some possible areas of war and conflict there to look at. But I'm not going to do that just now. Let's take a look here as far as inheritances go. The Duchy of Poitiers is the biggest one, and the Duchy of Auvergne. So those are also things that can still fall into, well, the Kingdom of Aragon at this point. So there you have it. Already a lot has happened right after we even got to this. Yeah, we are now king with 1,300 in the bank. And let's head back to the royal court. You have one unlanded situation in your court. Take a look at the court artifacts here real quick. So we can put a large wall ornament here. We can do tapestry, Plantagenet house banner, Anjou dynasty banner. Well, I think we're going to put the Plantagenet house banner here. Small worn ornament, we can put the Duke Slayer. The head of the boar with razor-sharp tusks, which killed Duke Fulk while hunting. That's a nice one there. Another large wall ornament we can put here. We can put a magnificent tapestry up there. And large wall ornament here, an Anjou tapestry. Got two different Anjou. This one gives our dynasty opinion +3, court grandeur bonus +2. Or the one that came from Countess Esclarmonde, which bumps up renown, prestige, court grandeur, And vassal tax contribution will go up. Yes, I think we will put that one there. We can display a book. Excellent. Making gold. So we will put that there. And we have put up the court artifacts as we want. We don't have any claims. So we are done with that. A faction has been disbanded. Court event available. There we go. Day drinking. The drunken antics of my courtier, Matthias, excellent name, by the way, have been the subject of court gossip before, but lately he seems to have taken them to a whole new level. Getting drunk by mid-morning, passing out in the castle courtyard, stumbling to the tavern in the afternoon, and waking up in the stables with a hangover the exact day. Matthias' degenerate behavior is an embarrassment to all who reside in Angers. Matthias can sober up in the dungeons. A stern talking to will set him straight. If Matthias wishes to act a fool, then a fool he shall be. Let the others mock him. Hell, I'll laugh with them. No, I don't think that's worthy of it. A stern talking to. Now we can hold court. So we can hear petitioners. I'm not interested in that right now. It'll cost 100 prestige. Honestly, I want to bump up our prestige. So we've got a faction created against us. And he does not change his behavior. Ransom. Greetings, my thoughtful liege. I cannot stand this imprisonment any longer. Would you accept this offer in return for my freedom? He pays 50 to you. Fine. Biltrude of Bavaria has come to court. So now we are amongst the highest nobility in Europe. So, wow. That's another fascinating episode, to say the least. So we've got an invalid alliance. My spymaster has come to me with grave news. It is my courtier Maboup that is plotting against my courtier Idlal. The brooding fiend. I have taken you in, and you are plotting at court. All right, let's take a look where we sit with the French king. Well, he does not like us, to say the least. We now need to look for alliances at the highest level. I think building a strong partnership with King Nuno the Smelly of Castile and the Jimenas would be important, because Al-Andalus is just to the south. And he is known as the Thief Slayer. So we got to keep an eye on that for sure. Beyond that, we have the Holy Roman Emperor, who we, of course, can take a look at, and the King of England as well. Now, we're not going to go and look for an alliance with the English king because we want to capture these lands here and make them ours. Now, the problem with the internal wars we have right now, if we go for any of these grabs here to unify our lands, we're going to go to war with France. And that is not a war that we can afford to do right now. It is well beyond our capabilities at this time. We've got some powerful allies, but most of these, except for Duke Ralph, we have a truce with Duke Ralph of Essex. But most of these are internal and French. So they won't come to aid us when we attack France. So building up something with the Castilians would be worthwhile. So he's got a 9-year-old son, a 12-year-old daughter. Let's take a look, actually. We only have the one child. He is 7. See what's possible as far as betrothals go. So, Duchy of Genoa would be one ally. The Duchy of Ostfalen would be another. Lower Silesia, and then we're getting into, Upper Lorraine, Östergötland, Toulouse, Moravia, the Isles, which would be an interesting one. But other than that, Aquitaine, There's nothing at the highest level. The Angevins. That might not be a bad one here. Gaining claims in the German heartlands. And unfortunately, there's not really much there at this point. Well, we have the Infanta, Teresa of Castile. She's brave and just. She's 5 years older. And that would get us an alliance with Castile. I mean, 5 years older, not ideal. She's not bad. I mean, she's relatively average across the board, but not horrible. Let's keep on shopping here. Well, a quick glance here at the French. There's one possibility, but no interest at all. If we look at the Holy Roman Emperor, he's got a son, another son, and then they get much, much older. The King of Scotland is himself 10 years old, but there's really nothing there. Scottish King would just be interesting because it would put England in a difficult position. Norwegian. So he's got sons. He's got a 7-year-old daughter. Now, being allied with the King of Norway would be an interesting one in terms of putting pressure on the English. But it doesn't give us any advantages locally, geographically. Let's see if he would even go for it. So Princess Freya, and will not accept it. Just because it looks like we have too many existing alliances. That's the big problem there. But an alliance with Castile would be highly beneficial. Geographically speaking, it can put pressure on the French pretty quickly if we go to war with France. It can help us if we deal with the Andalusians, because now we're looking at this as far as a bit of a reconquista and driving the Muslims out of Iberia at the head of the Aragonese, and not worrying about the English throne. Still want to kind of take that right there. Let's see, would he go for it? At 5 years older, it's not ideal. It's not exactly what I'd be looking at. Yeah, also won't accept it, mainly because Teresa is dear to King Nuno, so that doesn't help. His opinion of the matchmaker isn't great. I don't know here. I mean, the problem is also we just have a lot of alliances already. But it might not be bad to improve our relationships with him. Scheme. Sway Count Jacques. How's that going right now anyway? Count Jacques, I mean, he still does not like us, and still working on that. So I think we're just a little bit stuck here right now as far as shopping for alliances. But kicking the English out, that would be something I would very much like to do. So here, going to war for that right there. We've got the allies. We have our internal soldiers already. If we just look at us and our capabilities, so we're going to move this right here to the English border because we're going to go into men. Us alone, we've got 67.99. We're still building up our levies, so actually it'd be worth just waiting a little bit until our armies are fully recruited. Once that's happened, we can launch the expedition to gain Maine and then eventually Sablé away from England. So even though this is going to cost us prestige, I want to hold court, see. Henri wants to see his new courtiers, see what happens. It'll increase court grandeur, which we need to increase. You might learn exclusive opportunities, so we will hear the petitioners at court. Sitting on my throne, I gesture for my guards to open the doors of the hall. A stream of people file in, some lining up in front of my throne, while others move out of the way so they can simply observe the proceedings. After several moments, all movement in the chamber has ceased. All faces turn towards mine expectantly. In front of me, I count 3 petitioners lined up in an orderly row, waiting for me to call on them. Gesture for the first in line to approach. Amid all the supplicants, Abu, who I thought was a prisoner in house arrest, somehow appears before my throne. Your Highness, surely the food served to me in my prison rooms is of far worse standard than what you would serve a respected guest. Or is this truly the best your cooks can do? I should like fresh quail for my dinner from now on. Renier, my knight, runs into the room, panting. My apologies, my lord. I was guarding him, but he was so charming, he duped me into letting him out. Chefs cook him the finest meal in the land. No. House arrest means dignity. Let them roam the grounds. So that could be one way. Renier, you are unworthy to be called a knight. No. We will let him walk the grounds. Next up. My vassal, Count Savary, takes a turn bending my ear before the assembled court. Glorious liege, give me the honor of pouring your refreshments and ensuring their soundness. I will not let you down. I suppose these jobs have to be done by somebody. Count Savary, he does like us. He's terrified. He's pretty good, actually. You have the job, so he will be the cupbearer. And finally, the air is thick with anticipation as my vassal Count Yves approaches me. My lord, I come with grave news, but with a solution to fix this problem. It's become increasingly clear that the French and Angevin are becoming more, perhaps even too similar. It's paramount that we show them that it's us, the Angevin, who are the forefront of innovation. Let's host a festival to celebrate our rich Angevin culture. So, what does this do? So we gain 350 prestige. Cultural acceptance between Angevin and the French decreases by 10%. Count Yves gains 40 opinion, and the French vassal loses 10 opinion. Arrange an exhibit to show off our grandest accomplishments. So it's basically the same thing, but at lesser bonuses. There's no need for us to exercise superiority over the cultures. Yes, there is. I do want to show the French, because now we've broken away. We are our own. We are now kings. We have our own kingdom, so we want to show this is the Angevin way. Absolutely. Conclusion. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room, having business to attend elsewhere. Others remain, talking amongst themselves about the recent proceedings. Soon, the ceremonial formality of the proceedings has dropped away entirely, with the hum and bustle of normal courtly life taking its place. My business here is done. And with that, we have held court for the first time as the King of Aragon. Okay, we can do a grand tour. So, what this does, rewards prestige, parochial vassal opinion, visited vassal opinion, itinerant liege, magnificent liege. So, this might not be bad. It increases popular opinion, reduces stress. Now we have a lot. County control goes up, and we can plan a grand tour. We could also host a grand tournament. But I think a tour might be a great thing to do for him to tour his new land, specifically in Aragon, and see them. But that will have to wait until next time, because so much has now happened. I will leave you with this kind of going a little zoom out here to show that France, even though they grew, as we talked about, there are a couple of wars here, has diminished because the Kingdom of Aragon has, I would say, more than doubled with the ascendancy of King Henri of Aragon, the Catholic Angevin Plantagenet Iberian king. So let me know your thoughts on this interesting turn here. And of course, he's still in line to inherit a few other titles as well. And what that could all look like. If you enjoyed this episode, and becoming king finally took a while, 1164. So the series started in 1066. So in 98 years, essentially, we've gone from a lonely count of Touraine, back when Folk was the count, to Henri as the King of Aragon. As always, comments, likes, much appreciated. Check out the links down in the description to Patreon and Nexus GG Store. Until next time, I am Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.